the words of Fitch from Tengri, of course. Day one, if that's how it ended up, would be a very disappointing result for the team in yellow. But yesterday they came back, Nato. They showed us what they can do. They at least had a chance to play on the game. Even could have snatched that as well.
Yeah, I mean, if all the stars had aligned, but they still made a little bit, way too many mistakes, to be honest with you. Just silly things happening, people running through smokes unnecessarily, or just not throwing smokes at times, taking wide peak angle.
Lack of experience?
Wide angle peaks. Huh?
Lack of experience?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is when you don't play against the current meta, just the way that the current top teams play all the time. It kind of comes with that, that you just don't, kind of don't take attention to a lot of the specifics, the little details that they punish you with.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I think the owners have a pretty good read on it. They give that interview, it doesn't matter, we're 0-2, we're pressuring a team like Big. And also, I mean, they were talking in this interview about how they thought about picking up some of the younger players in the region, but they were just like, if these are the best players we have and this is inexperienced, then these guys would have an even tougher time. So for this organization, it's all about getting players in the region experience, getting them on this level, on this stage against these teams, and you can bring that experience and knowledge back within your own region and help to build things up for the future. So I think they have a pretty good mindset from what I've read and heard from the owners and some of the players, where it's
certainly not unrealistic, is it?
No, it's not.
They're not coming here going, yeah, we can definitely make the major. Bravado, sure, great, but they've not done that. They're planning things. They want to win a game. Obviously, they'd love to win a game and go away with that. But even if they don't and they go away at 0-3, no harm, no foul, nothing wrong with that. They've come, they've learned, they've taken that experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's the way to start. There's no shortcuts, to be honest with you, right? I mean, you kind of have to go and get wrecked by the better teams first, and that's the only way you can get better.
Yeah, we've seen some teams qualify sometimes for a major in the past under a different qualification system where they've come from a region which isn't necessarily well known. I think of India, for instance, in the past. And then they've not learnt from it. They've not gone on to better things. So there are two sides to this too. They have to take the experience.
No,
but
it's like the same. I was talking with the Peacemaker, just the mentality of Tyloo. It's very different. They don't necessarily always understand, why certain things happen, even though like he's trying to give them clues on. Okay, like, you guys figure out why did you lose these rounds? They necessarily don't even realize the kind of mistakes. So if you don't have anyone to point things out for you and kind of see the right way of thinking about certain scenarios, then you might not learn too much about it. So you need the help.
Definitely comes into play as well.
Yeah, also when those teams qualified, the qualifications, like you said, it was different. So I mean, those teams just got a berth because they had just a team from that region just had one spot in the major, and then when it changes, just not good enough to qualify, and that's just kind of the way it is. So yeah, it is tough when you don't see teams from that region get to have some kind of a repeat performance. But yeah, teams like Tyloo certainly taking up the banner where they've gotten a couple chances, and now I mean they look great at this event.
On the verge of going through potentially as well. Let's move on to Dignitas. We've talked a lot about their road to the major offline qualifier, and it's mainly because this is a team who literally formed as those qualifiers opened. So that's pretty much all they've played. They've played in the open qualifier 1, 2, 3, and in the closed qualifier, and in the minor. This is their 5th qualification tournament for the major.
Yeah, I mean, it shows class already that with this short amount of time, they can still make it this far. I mean, there's a lot of teams and IPs and the likes that didn't make their way over here, and they've only been together, like you said,
God bless,
pretty much throughout the time span of these qualifications. So that alone, I think, is a statement that these guys can hang, and just given a little bit more time, you never know where things take, because if they just manage to kind of develop a little bit more in depth when it comes to the tactical approach of the game, I think there's something into it.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the players.
Yeah, definitely do. I mean, it's cool to see, like we were talking about here earlier, Fox giving that privilege of playing more freely, managing to kind of dictate plays a lot more, being a bit more aggressive, and he's just given a lot more room to play there. So, I mean, if he can utilize those kind of tools properly, and if the individual perform to the potential that they have, yeah, they can definitely fight within that, between the 10 and 20 in the world kind of a ranking spot.
But we're also talking right now, Jason, that this is an elimination match. They lose this, they're done. And that would seem a shame after such a long road. And with such good play. I mean, when you think of Fox and you think of Jacob, they've played in majors before. You want to see them go back. You want to see them compete at the highest level. To not have them there would be disappointing. Yeah,
especially when you consider this has been the goal. I mean, obviously, getting to the major is the goal for every team. But this team specifically, I mean, you think of when they were formed and then just 2 weeks after they were competing in ECS, which was like the only basically non-qualifier they've competed in. 2 weeks into that, they changed the lineup. Like they noticed issues wrong. Michael Ailey was gone. Pito was gone, like right at the start. So that would be a shame as well. Those are some tough decisions to make that quickly. But certainly these guys getting back. I mean, all the players that have played with them have good things to say. But this team, to me, right now is like, these players are kind of fighting to get some of their reputation back in a way. Like Jacob, you know, the lost star of the FaZe team. Rubino, you know, he had so much respect in his kind of role that he played when he was in North, and he's like the only one that's really kind of repaired his like reputation as an individual player has been Fox. These other guys still have to step up. So I mean, this is kind of like a redemption road for them at the same time. Do
you feel like it's a long-term project as well, Natu, rather than just, you know, maybe this is too early? I know they've gone through the qualifiers, but maybe this is. You know, if this was the end of the road, they won't be too upset because they're sort of thinking about the next major rather than this one.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. If you think about like players like Jacob, for example, like going back to Cluj-Napoca, he was phenomenal in that tournament, but disappeared from the map afterwards. I don't think he's really had like star-like performance ever since, to be honest with you, which is weird. You know, thinking of him there, I thought this is a new Norwegian superstar in the making, but then disappearing from the map. Now, if he can escalate the way he plays into a new level, because we know he obviously has this higher ceiling that we've been seeing the last couple of years. Fox obviously has shown that he can make plays, and then Rubino, as long as, you know, he keeps on improving, being an in-game leader, things may happen. You never know. But then again, also so far we've seen them doing a lot of small little mistakes, like yesterday in the game, the plannings, you know, just tiny little issues that will haunt you in the end, right? So they kind of make sure that they're not making those kind of mistakes.
The tough part is, like, you also get the feeling, as much as this, I said this is a redemption story, you get the feeling that some of these players, Rubino, Jacob, Tensky, Fox, we've seen them enough to know that, like, where their ceiling is, and like there's not a lot of room for growth sometimes, it feels. Jacob probably the best one in terms of his level if he can get back to that. So if this is going to be a long-term project, if they're going to be able in sometime in the future to show something new, it's got to be Croman. They're really relying on this young, inexperienced guy to grow into another star of this team, and they need that if they want to be able to sustain some kind of impact on the international scene going forward.
Okay. I'm hearing that Pala is in the player area right now and has found 2 more people to interview.
I have found 2 more people to interview, Paul. I'm here with Demir from Tengri and, of course, Zavez from Dignitas. Guys, you're in a tough position, 0-2. What is the difference now today compared to the other days? The pressure is on.
It is too much pressure, I think. We are 0-2 now, of course, and I don't think it was supposed to be in this situation. I think the gossip match, we should have won that match. Yesterday, we didn't show up at T, but we could have won that match. So yeah, it's hard, and now we don't have any second chances. Now we just have to pull through this match and 2 more.
Demir, what about you?
Same thing. Yesterday, we lost to BIG, obviously big, 16-14. Lost a lot of clutch rounds, and, you know, obviously Tapson was a factor. But you know, we kind of gained confidence from that after losing to Mousesport 16-1, and hopefully today we can actually, you know, show an even different game on our favorite map, Mirage, and we'll see how it goes, man.
Zavez, given that you are 0-2 down, I think the round scores have been pretty positive. They've been close games for you, Godsent and Immortals. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we are showing off much better than we actually, I don't know, against Immortals we know it's going to be a really tough match, but since we got cash, we are really, really solid on the city side. Yeah, I don't really know what to say there. It's a tough question there.
And Demir, you guys start off very, very roughly against Mousesport 16-1, but then yesterday against Big, against a tactical mind like God B, you managed to almost take it to overtime 16-14.
Well, what happened is, obviously, we started for CT. We won the pistol rounds, you know, then we won the buy round, then we lost the eco round. And after that, the guys just kind of understood that, guys, yo, we can actually win this game. You know, they're just like us. Let's go, you know, keep going. And round after round, we started coming back, and, you know, we came close. But obviously, Tapson was the factor, and there's nothing we can do about it. When a guy pushes the smoke and gets 3 kills on the last round, you know, what can you do about it? It happens. It's a game.
Tabson did indeed have the X factor. Guys, for one of you, this might be the final chance to get on the mic, so final words from either of you.
I'm pretty confident we're going to win this game. Pretty confident.
How far away Denmark is from here?
From Denmark?
Yeah.
I live in Norway, so it's further away, so long time.
I wish you a nice trip home, man.
There we go, fighting talk, guys. Please do shake each other's hands. Best of luck. Paul, this one's going to be fire.
It is now. All right, it's not Mayweather-McGregor. It's not Mayweather, but it's still good.
Everyone's flying home on Monday. Except for
Yeah.
you, because you're
Just not to Norway.
For me.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. We said inexperience and some shit talking as well, perhaps. But I liked the effort. It was good. It was good.
Natu,
Things
not
I have
impressed.
to go through.
Not impressed.
The finish.
Let's move on to the let's move on to the map, Vito, and take a look at the very unexpected map that we're going to be playing. Look at that! Wouldn't you know it?
Yeah. No,
Who knew?
Yeah, no, this is, I mean, a pretty. I think this is what Tengri is like. This is probably where they exactly wanted this to go. So they've got to be very happy with Mirage. It'll be interesting to see because, I mean, it can be a little bit more of a tactical map. I mean, this is going to rely a lot on mid control. And, I mean, it's pretty easy if they've done, like, some homework, seeing the top teams, how they approach mid control, like the smokes, the sequence of smokes you can throw to kind of get a player in a connector. So every team that we have in the pro scene kind of goes through that same sequence. You know, the smoke at base of catwalk, one in window eventually, get one at the top of connector, sneak someone in there. So, I mean, there's some pretty simple ways, but plenty of footage that they could have watched prepare themselves for this map.
Yeah, this proves that going down to Mirage proves a couple of points. First of all, the fact that Dignitas' map pool is quite limited because if you let your opponent's favorite map go through, you know, obviously you feel confident on it yourself, but still don't have a lot of alternatives to go to.
Yeah, I mean, we've not seen them play an awful lot. Inferno and Cash have been pretty much the other two, and once you get past that, Mirage is pretty much the only other one you can let through if you haven't got a deep pool of strats, isn't it?
It's a great map for Fox to show off some of the stuff that we saw yesterday, to really kind of strut some of those flick shots he was hitting and the mobility and everything like that. I mean, a lot of places on Mirage you can bring that AWP, so I would expect someone like Fox to have a big impact here. That would be quite nice for Dignitas in this elimination match. Pachanga, though. Pachanga's gonna have something to say.
You just like saying the name.
I'm into it.
He's busy playing Jenga right now. Let's bring in our commentary pairing for the morning and say good morning. Have you shaken off the cobwebs this morning, Matt, Henry?
Yeah, it's the first time we've done the early shift. Not really a fan,
the graveyard shift,
yeah,
as we call
not
it.
for me. I'd rather do the evening ones if possible.
It's a beautiful day, though, Paul.
It is a beautiful day. I want to wish you a happy 150th birthday. Not you personally, but your countrymen.
Yeah,
I saw you
cool.
proudly displaying your flags.
Yeah,
It's National Canada Day.
Oh,
What is that all about?
Hold on. It's like the Superman reveal.
Oh, here we go.
It's all. Oh, I didn't go far enough.
Do,
Sorry.
do,
There it
do,
is. We're there. We're
That
there.
is so white trash.
It's pretty white trash. Speaking of white trash and shit talking, are we a bunch of sheep in Counter-Strike? A few weeks ago, no one would say a word, and then Config gets into it with G2, and now everyone's shit talking. I mean, these teams are 0-2. Are they really in a position to do that?
I wouldn't class that as shit talking. I'd say that was just it was an
Admirable attempt.
I'm with Henry on this. It's like an exchange of pleasantries.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. How far away is Denmark? I'm from Norway, mate.
That was no, please.
Quite surprised they didn't give roses to one another, to be honest with you.
Brilliant. All right, gents, take us away into game number 1 of day 3.
Thank you very much. Yes, game number 1 indeed. We haven't really seen much Mirage this event, so I'm a bit excited to cast it. It seems to be the neutral ground map that a lot of people are at. I've messed up my cord. Vlad's going to kill me. It's because I was doing the reveal. It seems to be the map that's got a middle ground, so it's often banned out sort of mid-pool, especially in the best-of-1 scenario. So to get here, I'm excited for it.
Well, this is actually Tengri's favorite map, and Dignitas is one of their top maps they play as well. So this is going to be a good one, hopefully. Tengri obviously had a rough road here yesterday against Big. It felt like they were going to do it, but as the co-owner pointed out there as well, 16-14 and then losing the last round to a push from Tabson, who gets that 3-man spray down at the end. So that was disappointing, but it felt like Big were always going to win the one, especially in Tabson's posting was at 40 bomb in regulation. That was kind of nuts. Looks like we're ready to start their map. Dignitas versus Tengri. Quick prediction from you? Surely Dignitas.
My prediction is that Jason saying me wearing a tank top with Canada on it white trash is ironic because the USA is the most over-patriotic country in the world.
That's true. I'll give you that one. Well, Jacob, he's got the Superman buy, Tech 9 and Armor. Expecting to see big things from him on this map. And we've got a couple of smokes, a CZ for Chroman as well. 2 Supermen on 1 server. Who would have thought? We'll see where they can step up here as we get into the pistol. Default smokes coming in towards the steps, towards jungle, and the execution. An 8 split, in fact, will be coming in momentarily.
9 from range. A little bit of RNG required. Always. How did they walk by Fitch? I thought they'd expect him to be there after shooting one at triple. Typically, there's someone on the stairs. They just don't always just think, or that they do oversee it. They do overlook it. And managed to get the trade nonetheless. Pachenga's got Croman back, so it is still 2 men left to take the site. Kit for Sonic to work with, and a smoke. Unfortunately, he's gone down, so the smoke and Kit stay on the ground. Pachenga goes close. He's going to have to go back to get it, but the Tech 9 picked up for the CT side. He's fired it a little bit eagerly, and it's cost him as they'll pick up the round for Dignitas.
Definitely not the prettiest round we'll see this weekend, I'm sure, but still, it worked out for Dignitas. Pretty standard stuff, a variation on what we're used to seeing with the 2 smokes going down. A deeper smoke towards the jungle instead of actually being by the steps area, allowing the players from the underpass go towards the connector. Jacob finds the first kill of the Tech 9. You see the CT's not even looking towards that area, expecting everyone to come out towards the Palace and A ramp, which is quite standard. Some missed shots and some overlooked positions, but Dignitas do pull through. And it's going to be a forced by the scout from Ramsey. We know this can be quite powerful for this team. We saw it yesterday on Cobblestone. We'll see if they can get the first pick here. 3 rifles. I'd like to see this from Dignitas, the way it should be done. Done some damage early on as well. Pachanga going down to 11 HP, but there it is. The scout stepping up once again. Takes down Croman, and Tengri get a 5-on-4 to kick things off in round number 2.
Early in the morning for Jacob, it appears. So on to 11 for Pachanga, but opening kill for the Pistols of Tengri. Had a decent game, a surprisingly decent game against a sloppy big yesterday. Don't. That's actually a statement. In the context of Counter-Strike, Henry.
A nice sloppy big. Yep.
Jesus. It's pretty early in the morning, Hank. Do you ever calm down?
No.
Do your batteries ever run out? Tensky clears out. Oh, doesn't quite succeed in clearing connector. It seemed like it would be easy peasy. Now follow it up. Rubino gets the kill. Now control things from there. Pachanga on 11. Ramsky not much better off. So they will win the round, but they lose 2 players in doing so.
Got a bit scary for them there. Scout always seems to find kills with Tengri, but not enough to win the round, unfortunately. Ramzik gets 1 kill, does damage to others, but ultimately Dignitas finding the 2-0. They're certainly the favourite team of this one. Tengri are like the dark horses of this event. They came from the CIS qualifier, and they were looking to cause some damage. They haven't won a map yet. Obviously, neither of these teams have. It's 0-2. It's an elimination game. But they have got some skilled players, and they can find a few upset rounds here and there. 16-14 against Big yesterday. As we get into round number 3, default pistols and a couple of P250s for the CT side, an A stack. And this is where Dignitas has to be a little bit careful. Should be fine, doing a lot of damage at Jacob at the start. Looks like 85 himself, but finding the kills with the Mac 10s, that's the way it should be done. They will run into the full 5-man stack here, but it just means the round's over nice and quickly. It's not too much of a worry. So in that second round, force fight needs to be a bit careful of. Pachanga finds 1 kill, maybe a second as well. Not going to be there. They get 1 kill. It's an A stack. The default pistol's about as good as it's going to get. So after force buying that second round map, it's a nightmare. Their AWPer, he did not join them in the full eco, so he has to go on a rifle here. No kits, no incendiaries. And I was thinking today to myself as in the shower, I was like, maybe I should actually just write down like the 10 commandments of Counter-Strike economy of what you should be doing as an underdog team in best of ones. Because this is a nightmare situation now. You're under-equipped, you have no AWP, no defuse kits up against a team that's superior to you in skill. Like, you're just limiting yourself, I think. And, I don't know, maybe I'll write it down one day so everyone can just have it like a piece of paper.
Piece of paper, that's rather rudimental.
Yeah, just a... Well,
maybe I can't just have it on a PDF on my smartphone.
Well, the thing is, the coach can't have a laptop or a tablet, so he needs a piece of paper.
Oh, that's true.
So I just want to make sure everyone's got that available to them.
That's a good point. Let's go with the original Palm Pilot.
Exactly, yeah, right.
Croman takes down Remzik. Fitch gets Tensky. Fitch does better than that. Look at the spray down. Croman and Rubino line up. He gets 3 kills quite quickly. Fox will finally trade him out, but it's left them down a man on the Dignitas side. Jacob, for goodness sake, though. Whoa. Fox is a little bit stunned by that as he was relying on Jacob's positioning. I thought for sure he'd have a flank, but Sonic reads it, turns around and catches him off. They expect Fox to be going back to B, so Pachenga's pushed up mid, and he will do as you say, Henry.
Yeah, there's no need to challenge that frag at all. It gives a window, and SNK, he doesn't want to listen to the advice. So you're in a 3 versus 1, you know exactly where Fox is, just run the time, now play the bomb side, stop facing him, they get away with it, but that was a very costly round. Didn't have to be like that. make him play to the bomb side there. So let's just talk about the round, how it broke down. Dignitas obviously reading the economy situation, knew it was a force buy on that second round, go for the full A execution here, but good nade to the start. You can see how low 3 of those players were from the HEs at the very start of the round, and Fitch, he's more than happy to oblige. Getting helped out by Ramzik there with the damage at the start, sprays 3 of them down. Like we said, that's always going to be a difficult round for the CT. He's not out of the woods just yet. After they're going down to 1v1, it didn't have to be like that. Once he spotted Foxes fall back, play together, deny the plan, but now they're going to be struggling and having a full reset potential here. Famises, UMPs, and the terrorists are not slowing down just yet. Towards Connector they go. Croman smokes it off, gets information that it's clear. Might push even further than this as well, but the CT wants to challenge.
SNK. Gonna wait it out on top of the box in connector. Smokes.
They pass each other?
I think they have. Croman and SNK are side by side in connector. I think SNK is expecting it. He's looking at his crosshair. He's looking between the smokes. Oh, you think he had it? Tries to get away with uncertainty. Croman actually looks the right direction. He's actually peeking through the archway, and he walks directly into the shot. So down goes SNK. We sit with 4 men remaining. Remember that costly round as well. It's more of a detriment to the economy of the CTs if they lose this than it is Dignitas. Yes, they'll be out of money as well, but it's much easier to build that money back up on the T side, and they'll have more residual cash to carry over. Remzik might just save the situation as a result of it. 3 kills for him. Stepping up as Fitch did in the last round. It's Tengri that'll hold off the doorway as the bomb gets planted. Needs to hit shots if he's going to hold that door. Tag down to 21. He does the same damage on a Fitch, but they back off in a 2 versus 2. Everyone's in the 20s. Tengri gets Remzik. It's all down to Fitch. Double flash. Oh, but the second one actually catches Croman. He should have been dead there, absolutely, but timing favors no one. It's Fitch that gets away. If timing were to favor anyone in this, it has to be the T's, because even though they lose the exchange, or rather don't get the kill, it buys them precious opportunity to continue defending the bomb. They'll do exactly that, and it goes 4-1, so CTs are now in a bit of trouble.
Dignitas not taking their foot off the gas, it seems. Very quick round there, fast. A split at the start, then back towards B, getting that initial kill on the connector. Tengri, that was a must-win round, and Ramzik did everything he could there, finding a 3-man spray down from the kitchen position. Here's the replay right now. Very good job to actually make that realistic for them. It felt like the round was already done. Comes down to the 2-on-2, and then Dignitas finally finding some luck in the T-side clutches. You remember Cash yesterday against Immortals, just couldn't get rolling there at all. Managed to come back in the second half, but it felt like the T-side decisions were quite poor at times. Force 5 from the CTs, they're going to be double eco anyway. Ramzik, this time he does go eco. He's going to be the AWPer going forward, so he keeps his money about 1,400. And this is looking like a Dignitas round, but Sonic has got something to say about that. Gets 1 frag. Unfortunately, no SNK taken down at the same time. This should be concluded now. 1 player remaining. Tengri will find a final frag. 5-1 for Dignitas. Fully Kevin Tengri coming up. And this is where things start to become a little bit overwhelming for the Tengri side. 2K per player. I think they have a pause coming in just to slow down the pace. Dignitas seem that they're firing on all cylinders, right? And they've got 5 AKs just running around enjoying themselves, building up a huge bank account right now. They've got 5K per player. And after this one, should be even further. So, second stage loss bonus, Tengri winning the first gun round, but that decision to challenge Fox, that's what's been the detriment so far. Yeah, it just didn't make sense, right? Once you spotted him, he's almost in T-spawn. You just have 1 player in B playing defensively, 1 in middle, 1 in A, play together, slow him down, deny the plan. Objective, keep 3 players alive. They had to go for the challenges there and gave him a window to completely wreck their economy, and that's exactly what happened. So they can't buy anything here. As I said, it would be double eco after they force sport. So 1 more will do it. Ramzik will have the orb next round with the $2,400 he'll receive in the third stage loss bonus. If you are just joining us, this is the first elimination game of this major qualifier. Loser of this best of 1 is going home, and it'd be shocking to think the likes of Jacob, Rubino, and Fox, and to some extent Tengri as well, be the first team out of this tournament.
Yeah, that's actually pretty ridiculous when you think about it. I mean, yes, it's a quick project. It's only been thrown together recently. But the pedigree of some of the players is definitely indisputable. Undisputable?
Indisputable.
But he's the undisputed heavyweight champion. Yeah, all right. Fair enough. Whatever. English is all arbitrary.
We'll just make it up as we go along.
Well, that's what they did.
Yeah.
Jacob takes down Sonic. That's what they did with every language. Pachanga, speaking of made up, gonna try and go for a wide peek on the USB. Can't do anything of it. Tries to get exits. All he wants to do is make it costly. They'll survive with 3. Make it 6-1 for Dignitas.
It is. Absolutely. Really rough start here on the CT side. Ramzik brings out the AWP. No kits once again. No incendiaries. Do they go for an aggressive play here? They try and find that first pick. They can't really allow the bomb to go down. We saw players yesterday pushing the underpass, pushing Beer Palmer, trying to get a pick going. And Dignitas, they can just keep running the set pieces, I think. Like, just keep running the set tactics at the start. That's what I noticed. The Dignitas on the minor, they seem to have an objective at the very start of the round. There's no real defaults going in. They seem to have a clear idea what they want to achieve. This is one of their better maps, so we'll see what they bring to the table here. Looking like a B split for now. The AWP for Ramzik, that's actually in CT spawn. Smoked out, will be a B split. Pachanga to defend. He's on towards short. SNK going down first.
Down first. Pachanga's got Jacob, though. Rubino's entry's caught off. And finally, Tengri pick up a second round. This time they do it far more effectively. Only one player down, it's SNK.
Yeah, good defense there towards B. Like I said, you could see the objective there from Dignitas. B split, nice and quick. Keep applying that fast mentality towards Tengri. That this time, crossfires are decent. They managed to get the first frag and hold it off. Sonic stepping up there. SNK on 1 for 8 right now. Need to start finding some form, and Tengri stand a chance in this one. Towards the middle we go. We've got the AWP out for Fox. Everyone's been singing his praises recently of how improved he looks as a star player almost with the AWP. Fastens the connector once again. It's the terrorist side. Jacob, though, taken down by SNK. Trying to find the first pick. They won't happen for them. Ramzik chimes in as well. It will be the 5 on 3. Tengri coming to life. This might not be done. Felt like it was running away from them.
Rubino. Steadfast to the site. Silenced, but watch his backside because they're going to push in from CT. SNK. Just to find an opening, a gap. Excuse me. Toward the connector, but wrapping back around, he's able to find the headshot. I thought I could push through that one, Henry.
You tried.
It quite work. I did try. Fake it till you make it. I didn't make it that time.
Well, Tengri actually winning 2 rounds in a row. Quite convincing ones as well. Dignitas running all the fast strats they have. This time straight into that connector. Shut down. SNK stepping up. I said he only had 1 for 8 last round. Now he's with 3 for 9. So he managed to get 2 big kills there toward that connector position. No fear after Fox found the AWP shot towards CT spawn as well. So that was a nice play from him. It has to be an eco now for the Dignitas side. Starting to balance things up. Tengri going to round number 10. Need to keep 5 players alive. They need to establish their own economy. Ramzik opens it up there with a nice AWP shot. Make it 2. And as he takes down Chromin as well. This should be quite a clean sweep. Lots of damage done towards the B apartments here. Nothing to get too excited about. Dignitas did not force into this by any stretch of the imagination. So 5 players staying alive. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Now we really have got a game on our hands. Rubino, the new in-game leader. Might want to take a pause at this point. The last few rounds, those fast approaches haven't worked. You want to see a default at this point, the slow map control, bleed the economy out, try and find the first pick. You've definitely got more firepower available to you. There's a nice replay of Ramzik. I think 2 pretty standard shots, but they will count. We'll get into this round number 11 here. What's the play from Dignitas?
Well, Fox to the box. I would not eat them in a box. I would not eat them with a fox. I do not like green eggs and ham. I will not eat them, Sam, I am.
He's doing Dr. Zeus now.
He's a legend.
He is. Good lad.
Good lad. Met him once at a bar.
Yeah.
We had an apple juice. We talked about a moose who rode in a caboose. It was a bit of a loose conversation. Jacob wants the angle. SNK's got it, though. Beats him to the punch. Jacob didn't necessarily need to try and take that angle as well. With Tensky coming up from the same position, he won't be able to refrag that. He backs off the window, SNK. Smartly so after finding the first pick. Fox gets Fitch back. They'll go back down the underpass.
Well, for now, Tengri with the advantage, of course. They're looking quite formidable in the last few gun rounds, I have to say. 3 in a row. Actually have the man advantage here in round number 11. 30 seconds remaining. No smokes, only flashbangs to work with it. Dignitas needs someone to open up this bomb site. They spot one. Got to commit at this stage as well. Drop the Molotov. They be down to Rubino to find the first frag. Does it. Not bad. Good Molotov.
Pachenga's position, though, is massive. Gives it up, though. The nade. Tensky jumps back, spots him. Can't get the opening, and a flash goes through. Tensky knows he's behind the wall, so he sprays, but can't get the kill. It's tense times to try and walk through as they want window and the doorway as well, but Tensky wins the battle. Rubino follows up. It's on Remsky in this site, or Remzik, exactly.
Yeah.
Gonna go down. AWP found that opening. That's all it gets. 4 rounds for Tengri's not terrible, but Dignitas now find their 7th. It took them a bit of time to get there, so there's money left over for the CTs. In fact, they're going to have a double op setup.
Sure. It's, yeah, definitely viable on this map. Probably one of the best. Up towards B, they can go aggressive and hunt for information, and obviously the more dynamic player towards window in the A bomb site. Dignitas there, 4-on-3, managing to open up the B bomb site. A nicely placed Molotov by Rubino. That was well read. And then at that point, Fox to finish things off with the AK-47. Round number 12, a big one for either side. Whoever loses this will be on an eco. So Dignitas get it. Could spell a massive landslide half for them, but Tengri managed to pull this one back, then they're right back in the map in general. Good smokes deployed. Like we said, normally having an objective at the very start of the round is Dignitas. Bomb still down in T spawn though, so much slower pace this time. See if the double orbs can find anything here. Pachanga and Ramzik to open things up with the sniper rifles.
So again, mid-pressure from Dignitas. Time and time again, they've tried to take this over. It's been passively held from Tengri. They've not put a lot of pressure onto Catwalk. It's mostly been in connector, more traditional, I guess you could say, in that sense. Tensky wants to try and get to the corner. Fitch has done well in this position as far back as the pistol round. The origins of the game. He's going to do well again. Spots the knee, fires in. Tensky can do nothing but sustain the damage, and then on the peak he goes down. Pachenga's going to find Jacob. Fox the only opening kill for Dignitas. In that exchange, remember Sonic was down pretty early, so SNK, rather than rest on his laurels, will get aggressive. Flash comes in from A main. There's mid-pressure, so he knows he's now comfortable inside of Palace. Which means he can also time his attack. Back turn, Fox is able to hide, but Pachenga's going to take him down, finds him in the open, trying to hide away from one angle. He's exposed to another. He finds Croman as well. Tengri is actually looking alive in this game now.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got a shout on this one. Hitting the orb shots, Pachanga coming to life there with a double orb setup. Dignitas getting overwhelmed there as they made their final commitment towards the bomb site. We're getting to round number 13. As I said, whoever lost that round was going to pretty much a full eco. That's Dignitas. Meaning Tengri could actually still win this half. And considering this way that this kicked it off, it was 6-1. You didn't think that was going to be a possibility, but very good job, especially after losing the pistol as well. Tengri not done just yet in this major qualifier, it seems. After going down 16-1 on the first day, 16-14 to big on the second, could they somehow squeeze out a win on the third?
So pistols and a shotgun.
That's an interesting one. How much money did he invest in that?
More than he needed to, because he has $450.
What?
Yeah.
Surely it's Tech 9. That's got to be a misbuy. There's no reason for that whatsoever.
Well, let's see it, Croman. Let's see it all. Oh, okay, well, we saw it. It died. That's all it did. So, yeah, big problems now for him. Pachenga gets Rubino. All 5 looking to stay alive for Tengri as we go into round 14. Nade kill to close it off. Only 1 shot from Jacob lands.
Yeah, that's a bit of a nightmare. Usually, it's not a problem having one player forcing into a round like that. Normally, you get like a player getting an AK-47 and armor, with the assumption that he can make 2 or 3 kills happen. Maybe the Tech 9's going into the bomb site. Even if you lose the round, you've got 4 AKs and a Tech 9, right? That's still going to be the case here, but the Nova, that has no place in the T side of Mirage. There's nothing you can do with that. Maybe on the CT side, sure. That's got to be a misbuy. I'd like to know. Maybe that's a question we can ask him afterwards. If
the panel can. Well, if Tengri win, they can ask. If Dignitas win, they can ask the panel.
That has to be a misbuy. That's nuts.
Paul, we task you with the question.
Well, Dignitas will be bringing a little partial buy to the table here. They get $2,400 if they do indeed lose this round. Even more so if they get the bomb down. So I don't mind this. Tech 9 rounds can always be dangerous on Mirage. You have the option to obviously go for the full wall of smoke. It looks like they'll be heading towards B to do that. Smoke 2 in the archways, 1 towards the kitchen. Flash over, Molotov the van. They do not have a Molotov to work with. A huge deal. Flashbangs can do the same job, really. Here come the smokes.
Flashbang bounced perfectly. Oh, it didn't actually. There's a better way to throw that. You line it up so it goes out the window and it can still blind up the apartments, but they go for the short flash. It's not And winning for those of them in the sight. Sonic being one of them. Down he goes. Chrome in an advanced position. Pistols work. So they managed to get deep within the confines of the site early as well, so the rotations have not yet occurred, and it's down to just Fitch in a 1 versus 4. Fox picking up an AWP, able to get the kill. It's now going to be Dignitas on 8. They'll win the half, even though it looked like at 6-1 that was the foregone conclusion. They've struggled to get to number 8, so getting away with it. And round 15, op for Fox. What are we going to get for Pachanga right now? I think he's got his knife drawn, so we don't see.
He should have the... Oh, I'm not sure, actually.
It says $50 left. I wonder if someone dropped it. He just hasn't picked it up yet.
Oh, that partial buy worked out very nicely for Dignitas, but he's actually on a P250 by the looks of things. So that's a massive round for Dignitas to pick up. We always said those can be dangerous, generally, and it proves to be the case here. Dignitas running away over going to round number 15. They've won the half now and potentially get a bit more out of that because it's a Famis and Pachanga at 1 HP with a P250. Not looking too healthy right now. He tried to get aggressive towards Palace position. And Dignitas much slower at this point. This is a default round. When you know you're up against a weak buy of the CT, you've got the AWP as well, you want to make them apply pressure first. You know they probably don't have the full array of weaponry to work with it, and that's definitely the case here. They've heard the PT50 already. Try and find that first pick, then get yourselves together, go for the full execution at that point. And there it is. That's the first pick. Don't need to overcommit here, but they seem to want to get straight in. No messing around. Croman's not, for sure, as he finds 2 headshots. Changa, though, fighting back with that PT50 and 1 HP. Oh, he's actually might have done enough.
That's ridiculous that he gets another shot toward Firebox as well. Remzik's going to close it. Pachanga is apparently a hero.
That's why you don't fully commit,
That's why Jason likes his nickname.
Well, right, but more to the
that's
point.
pretty silly.
That you get that first pick. You get the first pick. You don't need to just all rush in and go, that's it, get in there. Like, you don't know what's on the other side. Use the execution. Use your nades. The smokes need to go down. Flashbang's over.
And at 8-7, this could cost them.
That's so, like, devastating. These guys know better than that. Like,
if they lose this pistol, this could be extremely costly. We could reflect upon that round.
Like, it's just, you can see there's no pressure to him at all. Why is no one checking that position? Why is no one coming out at the same time and overwhelming? If you're going to commit, everyone needs to go in, right?
When you go in, you got to go in.
It's just a nightmare. Oh, Diggy. Definitely signs of it being a new team, but let's get into the second half. 5 sets of armor to CTs. That's Dignitas, of course, now. We switch over. And Tengri, just 1 smoke. That's unusual. 4 sets of armor for them. No upgraded pistols. Sonic with the flashbangs as well. He's towards A. I assume he smokes CT spawn or maybe the connector. Let's see what he decides to do here. Discussing it, perhaps.
Slow pace. On the pistol, smoke for Sonic. Set toward the jungle, it seems.
Indeed. It's building up now, the tension. Where will the smoke go? Where will the flashbangs end? 50 seconds, I assume that's when their commitment will come in. 5-0, there it is. Smoke goes towards connector. So,
good shots, Croman and Tensky. Fox just barely gets it. Roman's able to take down Pachanga. So Dignitas find the pistol, which will give them the momentum. They lost this pistol after losing 2 pistols in the last round of the first half. And we went to something like 10 rounds for Tengri. Dignitas could have had something to worry about, but now they get a chance for the free kick. No bomb plant out of that either. So no early buy.
They bring the Tech 9s, 1 smoke and some armor into the second round here. Look at this from Dignitas. They've gone for 5 rifles map. That's very rare in today's game. That was quite prevalent in 1.6 and Source, not in CSGO for sure. 5 rifles, I haven't seen that in a very long time. So that's rolling back the years. 4 Famises and an M4. That's normally a sort of buy you see after the bomb goes down in the pistol and you're preparing for that 3rd round force fight. So, lacking grenades, but lots of firepower available to CTs to get the first 2 picks. Fitch low as well, but the bomb somehow goes down.
Sonic nearly kills his teammate. Fitch at 12 HP and he took a shot, but better shot to Croman. Just warming up his aim, perhaps, Hank. Bomb planted, you mentioned it. This actually is very hairy with smoke still in play as well. They got to run through the smokes. Fitch gets another kill. Look at the HP. 4 for Fox, 5 for Rubino. Tensky, though, can still save the round and find Sonic trying to flank. He does exactly that, but lives with 17. And they'll get the defuse. 10 seconds, but they left it long.
There it is. Comes in. So that's sometimes a problem with 5 rifles, right? You've got no kits and you're limited across the board in terms of the grenades available to you. So that's why a lot of people even opt for 5 SMGs in the second round. Like SK famously do that a lot of time. And they get 5 UMPs out and have grenades to work with. And I guess that's not so viable anymore considering that the UMP got nerfed. But I do like that 5 rifle setup. You just see like it can be a little bit overwhelming against the Tech 9s once that bomb gets down. 2 players survive though, so they're fine. It should be the full eco now from Tengri. 10-7 as we enter round number 18. Deagles and, okay, a nice headshot from Tensky, or towards Tensky I should say, as Ramzik finds it. Opening frag once again. Fox now to try and refrag.
Fitch. Trying to open up toward mid. Oh. Can't quite get the Beagle lineup. Looked like his crosshair might be kind of close, but not quite. The bomb plant still as they flood out from the apartments. Jacob's going to do well in the retake as we sit in silence. Builds the suspense. You get to listen to my voice more. That sucks. As SNK, the last alive to try and defend a bomb. Make this expensive. Low HP toward Rubino, but can't land the shot. They'll pick up number 11, and we'll go into the gun round.
We will indeed. A couple of bombs going down in the road there for Tengri. So yes, decent money for this first gun round for them. 4 players surviving for Dignitas. So same story for them. They can bring out the AWP. I doubt they will, considering Fox still has a rifle. It'll take some juggling. They certainly could work it out, but looks like they'll be opting for 5 rifles instead. Ramzik brings out the AWP. Ramzik's been very impressive, along with Pachanga as well. Pachanga's got 17 frags. Ramzik 15. Having a look at the Dignitas side of the board as well. We've got 19 frags for Fox, 14 for Kremer. So Fox living up to that kind of resurgence we've been talking about. It's round number 19 here.
Jacob's going to hold off connector as well.
Croman is straight up dueled at A ramp and takes down SNK with a FAMAS. That's not bad at all. Didn't take any damage for it. So 5 and 4 now, and damage inflicted towards Ramzik as well.
Spray from Jacob. Manages to find both Sonic and Pachanga. Leaves just Fitch and Remzik remaining. Dignitas looking to find the first gun round, following in the footsteps of winning the pistol +3. +2. I should do that math correctly, but all 3.
Yeah.
Means they're going to be the good position to potentially close this out relatively quickly, but don't rule Tengri out. They had a slow start on the first half as well on entry. Fitch can't find it. That's a missed opportunity because they need every kill instantly on a 5 versus 2. Remzik's going to open up against Jacob. Fitch has information on the site, but Croman's made his way to Shadow, and that's a doubled position, so Tensky's there to trade even if they make it around the corner, and there it is, exactly with that. Fitch gets spotted by 1. Tensky pops out on the other. Remzik tries to do what he can with an AWP, but can't do much. Down he goes. 12 rounds now for Dignitas.
Yeah, nice work from Croman generally in that round. He's been a strong asset, I think, for Dignitas. So one of the unsung heroes. He's completely new to this level of CS. Got plucked out of the lower tier Norwegian scene and seems to be holding his own tremendously well. Very good CT side player, I have to say, especially. Gets that first frag towards A-ramp. Takes a straight-up duel with the FAMAS. Takes down the first player. And then manages to stay alive as well, doing damage, and it's holding them off on that A side. Pick by pick coming in for Dignitas. And, well, I've got to say forced by. It's going to be partial for Tengri. They get maximum stage loss bonus next round. So UMPs, Tech 9s, and some Deagles here. A few smokes to work with. Normally the execution plays in these sort of buys, but we'll see what they can bring to the table here. Nothing given away just yet. Looks like an A split potentially with 2 players in towards the underpass right now. That's Pachanga and Sonic. Getting naded to oblivion though. It's going to be Sonic and Pachanga down to about 50 HP each. Jacob definitely aware they could be down there.
Smoke lands at the bottom of the connector. Fox waiting with the AWP as they haven't really put a lot of pressure onto Cat. Ooh, Tensky trying to echolocate footsteps through the smoke, but nearly missed out. And using the AA1. Out of ammo altogether as Jacob's going to find Fitch trying to find his way into the window room via the ladder. But down he goes. Fox would have made the call that he rounded the corner. He'd already made contact, but not able to kill. It's Remzik and SNK. Good shot from SNK following it up. But now it's just Remzik and not much he can do.
Not much he can do, but he'll give it a go. He's been very good so far. Got the Tech 9 to work with here, but no nades. Some armor. Bomb down, but Jacob really dispatches him. And it's going to be round number 30 for Dignitas, getting to the closing sectors, it feels like now, on the CT half. Dignitas looking quite comfortable. 5-0 for him in here. And Orb coming out for Fox, so we'll see whether he can get rolling with that weapon. Pause, presumably. It feels like it's about time. Tactical this time for Tengri. So they have got the Orb out, I believe. I'll have a look on the side, and that's towards the spawn area. Can't see 4 AKs, actually 5 now, so there's the money displayed for you, quite nicely on this lovely screen. We get all the information about on this.
I like it. I love it, actually. I think it's really, really good.
Yeah, this is one thing where, especially we don't have our laptops, so we have to, I have to work it out in my head. But when you have this, you can actually see the shots and what's going on the server as well. This is perfect. The team money, what they've bought so far, and the equipment value. It's very, very cool. So you can see Dignitas with lots of excess money. They've got 16,200 after purchasing into this round. Not really the same case with Tengri, though. So there's the replay of Snake and his Deagle getting a couple of... Same Snake.
You like Snake, yeah. Rattlesnake, he's your boy.
That's how you used to spell it. That's why I'm going with that.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Have you had game sounds for the last 4 or 5 rounds?
Yeah.
Did you troll me and turn my stream knob down?
No.
Because I had no game sounds for the last 4 rounds. I thought it was me. I was like writing to production. And then I look over and my stream level is completely muted. I swear to God, you must have done it.
Nope.
Well, that is the next level troll. Thanks, Hank. Jacob takes down SNK. Finds a second one as well on Fitch. I was wondering why chat was not raging out about it, because normally they would. And I was sitting here like thinking I was crazy. Apparently I am. Bomb will be planted safe side of double stack. Croman knows that, but can't do anything about it. He's got to wait for his teammate to get better positioning, get closer to him. They'll work in pairs as a duo. Remzik towards CT, can't quite spot the cross on Croman, but knows he's likely there. Better shot, Chenga potentially, but Croman's actually got the angle instead, and Remzik's got to go aggressive. Fox finds him. Dignitas find 14.
They do indeed. Ramzik, great round from him generally. Got 2 frags, nice execution there from Tengri. You can see why they like this map. They've obviously got a plethora of strategies available to them, but just can't close out these rounds. The Dignitas firing on all cylinders right now. Fox hits the 20 bomb. Jacob not far away from it. We've been hoping he would step up. He used to be such a world-class talent, but since his kind of the end of his phase days, you could see him tremendously dropping off, and obviously got replaced by Kiyoshima. And we're expecting him to bounce back, but it's been a while since then. But this has been a decent tournament for him, I reckon. And it's round number 22. Dignitas looking for match point. Loser of this game's going home, so last chance to meet for Tengri at this point. Orb comes out for Ramzik once again. Can't hit the first shot. Does he get punished for it? Apparently not. Still alive, but a player pushing from short. Fox, that's brave. Wants to throw the AT grenade, but somehow stays alive. And Croman once again living up to expectations on the CT side. 3 kills with the AK-47, and that should be a match point obtained for Dignitas now. Croman's been so good for them. Great player. So young as well. Like, been to 2 events, I think, now.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, to be fair, their first event as a team was the minor.
Yeah.
They prevailed there despite going through 3 qualification processes and then struggling in, getting that 3rd spot, that bonus spot that the European minor was gifted based on the Envy situation.
Yeah.
And Croman, I had no idea who he was. First game, he didn't actually play that well, and I remember interviewing from the panel Rubino, and I said, who is this guy? Like, obviously he's known in Norway, and he said, yeah, he's an up-and-coming talent. We have no doubt he'll be great. And then within like a day, he was like right there with them. Very stable player, very consistent, and he's been that way ever since. So yeah, I'm excited to see him develop as a player for sure. And potentially with another game in this event, because we're 1 round away from going 1-2 and sending Tengri home from the qualifier.
Indeed. Rubino said in his little interview for this tournament, he said like he's used to this format, he's used to going down 0-2, he can always bounce back. He's done it with North, he did it with Dignitas, and he always comes back for the 3-2 after having a horrible start. So he's sure the team could do it this time, and this is a decent start for them. 15-7. Will be matched on lost minutes, of course, with Tengri still, with no bomb going down, but it's going to be 8-0 here in the second half. Galil's AKs, 1 smoke. Pretty desperate at this point. Tengri could be the first thing going home here at the major qualifier. Lots of damage done by Ramzik, but can't find the kill towards Tensky here. Might be going down. Lots of aggression, but it's an equal trade for now. Sonic does get something in return. 4-on-4. Tensky low.
Roman sprays through the edge of the box and finds SNK entering into the site. But look at Pachenga's position. Unfortunately, it's better matched by that of Jacob. Expecting in that they've given up connector, they would be company toward the window, and he's rightful to do so. Sonic will take down Croman. Sonic will pick up an AK. Fitch has the bomb, though, and look at his distance from teammate. That's a new stat.
The distance from the teammate?
DFT. Yeah. Not DTF, Hank. DFT.
2 versus 1. Up to Fitch now. He's had some big rounds so far, Map. This one might be bigger than ever. 15-7, 2 versus 1. And it's up to him to keep Tengri alive in the major qualifier. I don't think it's going to happen, but let's see what he's got. No nades. One will go down, but the CT's playing this correctly, sticking together and challenging and making a single interaction instead of 2.
Well, I don't know how far Kazakhstan is from Denmark, but they're heading back that way, Tengri. It's Dignitas that'll find 16 first. Tengri, unfortunately, will bow out of the event 0-3, but Dignitas have a chance to fight on tomorrow. They'll be in the upper side of the bracket. And rightfully so.
Yeah, it feels like that's the correct result, right? This is a team, like you said, a lot of pedigree, big names within there, obviously playing for a big organization as well. To go out 0-3 in this tournament to a team like Tengri would be very disappointing. I don't think anyone had Tengri going through to the major. It's just a nice platform for them to show us what they can do. Unfortunately, it wasn't the best run for them. Kicked things off with a 16-1. Better showing against Big, but unfortunately lost that 16-14 as well. An okay game here today, 16-7. Couldn't get going in the second half whatsoever, but fair play. We saw some big plays from the likes of Ramzik, Sonic as well. We saw they've got some decent players here. Maybe a team to look out for in the future. It's certainly sort of developing Counter-Strike kind of region with the CIS qualifier. We're seeing new teams coming from, obviously got Vegas Squadron, Tengri kind of appearing at these events and showing us they do have a nice pool of talent in that region.
Yeah, they do. I think that there's some interesting things going on in CIS. At the same time, I think the top end of them, right, of that scene is a bit of a mess, and they are the scene.
This is great, right, for that?
Yeah, they are the scene, though, of all of them, of them, if you want to include North America. Asia even had a shuffle. North America always has a revolving door. Europe's had a shuffle. French had a shuffle. Sweden's gone through numerous. Denmark's had a bit of change up. They're the ones that are maybe due for one. So maybe some of this new talent, there's some opportunity coming their way soon, I think. I wouldn't be surprised to see something. Actually, I saw a hint of it on Twitter that maybe after the major something's going to happen. So we'll see if that's true or not. But Dignitas move on. We move over to Paul and whatever the cat drag did.
Mean. Thank you very much. We'll, of course, go back to Sanakist and Henry G for game number 2 as we wrap up the opening match of the day. It is a deciding match, of course, because the loser, unfortunately, is done in qualification mode, and it is Tengri that become the first team to fall. I guess we'd probably say, without being mean to them, that would be most people's predictions for this tournament anyway. They've acquitted themselves okay, though. They had a good first half here. It wasn't a very good second half, but they've had moments where they've shown some flashes that they can play at this level.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's focus on some of those things. I mean, first of all, they recover from like a hard reset. They win the 4th run, lose the 5th. Sometimes for inexperienced teams, especially on this stage, that can just spell the end. That can just be a collapse. But they recover quite nicely. They eventually do... They're able to stop and sustain the mid-control, the mid-presence out of Dignitas, which is very, very nice. But, I mean, you can just... Once again, we'll just go back to the inexperience and just... They have a round, they're up 5-3, and all you have to do then is, like, stop playing. You just sink back into the bomb sites. You don't have to try and make a play on anywhere on the map, and they have one player overextending on catwalk. And it's those kinds of things. Those are the small mistakes that someone like Dignitas is going to take advantage of, where as an inexperienced team, you just eventually have to learn. As a player in this situation, without being here before, they're just like, we have to make a play. We have to do something to get this round win, and you don't. And that's one of the things you just have to learn. But overall, I mean, saw some of the skills, obviously, in these past couple matches against Big and here against Dignitas. Pachanga started the tournament as a meme. He'll live on in our hearts. You know, I thought he had great impact in this game. Some very, very impressive rounds from him on the CT side. Unfortunately, when they switch over, they just didn't seem to have any real good plan of finding an opening kill on the T side. Yeah, I mean, that's been the problem for some of the newer teams, isn't it? We saw that through the minors. The T sides were tough for some of these teams, where they just couldn't execute anything.
Yeah, I mean, either you have to have some really, really good executors sort of straight towards the bomb side, or you just have to understand the ways of making opening kills, make it a 5-on-4 on a map like Mirage, make your way into connector or the window room, and then rotate all the way back to your spawn, maybe do an execute on A to a B bomb side, as long as you have someone to cut out the rotations. But none of that really they didn't manage to do that. Also, kudos to Dignitas because they were not overextended.
Yeah, we haven't spoken about them.
Yeah, Jacob was doing a phenomenal job on the connector, for example, just toying around the smokes, making things work that way. If you're not given a lot of opportunity, you kind of have to create that, and Tengri wasn't able to.
The funny thing about Tengri's T-side is it's like that classic mistake where some of their most promising rounds where they're like force buys and their ecos and they had tech 9s and they had deagles, that's when like out of desperation because they're so outmatched, they're actually like making plays and trying to be aggressive on the other side of the map and trying to find space to work with on the T side. There were a couple rounds, I mean, they got a couple good plants on the eco rounds, a couple times moving into the A bomb site when the rotations were away, and those are things they weren't doing when they had guns because they're like, we have rifles now, let's sit back, let's find like a good execute, let's find the perfect fight since we finally have the AKs. And it's like, if you take a little bit more risks in some of those rounds and you try and find some of those advantages in open spaces in the defense, then that's when the AKs can be most effective. So we see it with a lot of teams, just like all of a sudden when you get the pistols out, you're willing to be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more proactive.
Yep. Let's talk about the positives of Dignitas. We'll start with the MVP, which in this case is Croman's had another good game. We saw him start to come to life in the minor itself and has delivered a decent performance. It has to be said, though, and we picked up this on the EU minor, these guys, at least one of them had an MVP in every match. That's how rounded the team is. It feels like they don't have necessarily a weak link. If they have a bad game, then they're all weak links. They're not, they don't have one person carrying them heavily. They don't have one person not carrying them at all.
Two sides to the coin. Is that a good or a bad thing? In a sense, it's a good thing because it means that everyone's chiming in. But at the same time, does that mean that no one's really, being that real shining star in the team that everyone kind of needs, right?
It's also that the argument, if you look at a team, just to use SK as an example, is like Coldzera, consistently the star, one of the best players in the world, but he's a star because of the system that they work in, right? He's because of how the team functions around him. So it could be an allusion to the fact that maybe Dignitas don't have like a set game plan on who they're setting up to win some of these matches. But I mean, it's a great luxury to have when you have guys like Jacob, Croman, and now Fox in this lineup that are all able to perform at different times. And certainly Croman, like I said, he's the future of this team. They want him to become that star. Yeah, he absolutely does. So that bodes well at the very least.
Yeah, good performance all round from them. Commiserations, obviously, to Tengri. There was also an awful lot of noise coming from the player area. I think that's probably the loudest team we've had this week, isn't it? From Dignitas.
Yeah, and you kind of chuckle to see it because it is like you're playing against Tengri. Like let's not get overexcited here, but at the same time, it's an elimination match.
Yeah, it's a war cry, isn't it? They wanted to get hyped. They wanted to be able to bring that to the game.
And a lot of meaning in this game, despite the disparity in the two teams.
Yeah, I mean that's what some teams need to really get themselves going. They need to kind of yell to make sure that everyone's 100% focused. Get that extra 110% into focus as well.
Well, need some energy as well. It's first thing in the morning, Natu.
Yeah. Hate to see it. I was never a great fan of the 10 a.m. games.
Let's check in and see why that war cry was just so loud this morning, whether it was a bit of sleep being dusted away, because Rubino is going to join us now from the player area. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah. What was the war cry about today then? Was it just something you guys were all super passionate about, or you just know the importance of the game, or what was it?
Honestly, I don't know. I was like working all the time before, but I stopped doing it because I felt it was kind of karma when you did it. You started losing rounds, but like the other guys likes it, so it's fine.
It's all back. I guess this is a relief coming through this game, having lost the first two games of this qualifier. You guys never do things easily, though, do you?
No.
Yeah, I remember Open Qualifier 2, you lost to some weird, I can't even remember what the team name was, but you lost in the round of 16 in the Open Qualifier. Still made the closed qualifier, then made the minor, now you've made the off-league. It's always hard for you guys. Why?
I think, honestly, like we have been playing close the two last matches, but I think it's the kind of things like we're really bad at highlighting in stress situations. I feel we are lacking those kind of things that is really important when you are on the stage playing good teams. If you're doing something wrong, for example, not highlighting enough, like not talking to each other as well, you will lose those rounds, and that's the reason we are losing right now. I think this game we played a less. Like, they are not as good as the other opponents we played. Like, we needed to face the fact of that. But I think today everyone was really hyped, talking as we should do, and it was working for us. So I think just, as I said to my teammates, like, the biggest problem we have is basically highlighting communication in the right moments, and we are losing because of that. It's always the same thing. Versus Immortals yesterday, we lost like so many dumb rounds because of dumb communication. We did some stupid stuffs and
the plants.
Yes, the plants, for example, like in the gun round, the bomb got planted like default. We said plant towards A main, and they planted default and they defused, and yeah, it's like so many weird things are happening. But we need to just get better on it and work on it. So that's how we can fix it.
Okay, we've got Moses and Nato alongside, gents.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, what kind of influence do you think people like MSL that you played under has had for your in-game leading?
Well, I take a lot from like what we did in North, because I mean the way we played in North was, I think, was really good. We take some defaults and stretch from them, of course, because I like them, and I think if you do it correctly, it will work. So of course, sometimes you can't you get killed, and because someone is doing some good highlights. But overall, I think the ways MSL was looking at the game is good. Of course, you have other tactics that I made myself and working on that, but I still think that we have a lot to work on. But the thing is that we have a lot of players that wants to kind of have the kind of free role, do whatever they want to. So sometimes it's really hard to also just play on the tactic-based things. But as I said, we can't be kind of like the cocky guys, just saying, okay, we are better than them individually. We just go around and shoot. We are not. We need to respect other people, and we need to have tactics to fall back on. And it showed yesterday on Cash. We don't have a lot of tactics. We gambled a bit there, and it showed. Like our city side was fine, T side was not. So yeah.
Can you speak a little bit to individually? You've transitioned into the in-game leading, something you haven't done at this level. I mean, what has been the struggle there? Like, what are you doing to kind of learn how to be a proper in-game leader? Is it just a lot of demo watching? Is it like experimenting with different styles of leadership?
Well, I'm taking a lot from himself, of course, because that's what I learned.
Yeah.
I never really played with a like proper in-game leader before. Of course, Seves was, but he never played in that high level. MSL was the only one, and Fox and Jacob never played with an in-game leader before. So, like, it's small stuff that I got to learn in Dignitas that like the other guys doesn't have, right? So.
I mean, what kind of an impact is this having? Like, what are the struggles that you're facing, like in-game as a player trying to play your own style as well?
Well, sometimes it's of course hard because I need to think about my team more than just me, like focus on myself, of course. So sometimes when we're struggling, it's really hard for me to both focus on my own game and also focus on my team. And of course, I have a lot of things to work on. I'm not a good leader yet. I need experience and I need to work on it. So I'm just trying my best, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Good stuff. Ruben, I want to ask you, we spoke to you a few weeks ago during the European mine, and you guys are also all speaking English as well in-game,
yes.
Which is the first for many of your players, I know. How has it improved over the last few weeks? Have you used any naughty English words for naming places yet? Have you gone down that road?
Dangerous.
No, not really. The spot names and the communication has been really well all the time. Of course, the only problem, as I say, is the highlighting. And in stress situations, people tend to actually maybe forget the name on the thing because we're not no one talking English first language basically.
Sure.
So I think we just need to work on it, and that's the only thing we can do basically. It's nothing to do. So yeah.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you haven't descended into naming any rude places yet. Anyway, congrats on the first win today, and we'll see you again, of course, tomorrow. You're still in the tournament.
Thank you.
Best of luck, Ruben.
Letters.
Thanks, Ruben. There it is then. Team Dignitas do survive after a scare against Tengri. An 8-7 first half could have gone anywhere for the second one, but fortunately for them, they were very strong on the CT side, and they do live to fight another day. They are 1-2 now. When it gets to that point, you kind of go, it's hell or anything now. I mean, you just have to go for it, don't you? When you're 0-2, there's just no coming back unless you're positive and you approach the game in the right mindset. And they've done exactly that. You heard him say they didn't underestimate them. They didn't sit there thinking we're better than them individually. We're just going to play the game.
Yeah, it's a tough road, especially as you saw. Like every answer every answer he gave us is like, yeah, we're still working on it. We have to work on it as well. So and
they've been working on it for what seems like months now.
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be really tough. I think we mentioned yesterday there's only one team that's gone 0-2 and then qualified for the major after that. So, yeah, they're battling history a little bit there. And, you know, you can speak to this. I always liken it, you know, when you're 0-2, it just seems like, remember going through loser brackets at the old CPL, like when you're in that loser bracket and you just have to play games and every game is elimination, the stress just builds.
Eight games in a day.
CPL Summer 2004, 13
Here we
years
go.
ago.
There we are.
We lost to Danish team Titan in like the second or third winner bracket. And then we played like 6 or 7 rounds in the loser bracket, winning every single game. Not even realizing
back.
we're top 4 now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, didn't even realize.
And then actually in the following game, we played against Rival, an American team, and then SK sat behind us.
Rival.
But my teammates had to get nervous because
SK are behind
was
you.
sitting behind us.
He's still angry.
Still pissed off about that, of course.
So we'll catch up with him.
But yeah,
we can speak to him at some point.
it can be a grind for sure.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to. Don't think about it. Just go each game. Just play.
Yeah, which is exactly what they did in that opening game. So we are done for our first opening game. One team survives, one team goes home, and it's a similar story as we head into game number 2. It's coming next.